at this point, I was then feeling very nauseous. I was sweating like. Hi friends, welcome back to the Francescan Disorder. And if you've just stumbled upon me or bumped into me for the first time, please consider being a friend by subscribing. Let me know if you like my hair in the comment section, by the way. So today's video is a story because it is story time. As far as October and Halloween and scary stuff go, this morning that I'm about to tell you about is the sort of morning that nightmares are made of. So it's the sort of thing that you will dream about and think, oh my gosh, I hope I don't have that sort of stress in actual life, or sort of hassle. So this is about the morning where I told you in a vlog, I think 2 vlogs ago or 3 vlogs ago now, I'm not exactly sure, but I told you in a vlog not so far ago that I had 5 mornings in one. That vlog will be linked in the comment section of this video. I told you that I had 3 mornings in one. Sorry, I told you I had 5 mornings in one on a Wednesday. It was hump day as well. Yeah. On that day, I had 5 mornings in one, and this is why. I work from home now, but at the time when this started, this job which I'm doing now would, at that point you would consider a new job. It is still new job, but at that time I was like brand new fresh joiner into the company. So you can understand why I couldn't work from home at that point, because I still was at the point when we were doing training before I then get left to go and do things by myself. Like I needed to learn systems, processes, ways of working, etc. Know people, get my links and go-tos for different things. Anyway, so yeah, at that point I used to go to work every day for a number of weeks. On this day, it was a Wednesday, normal Wednesday morning. By the way, the lessons that you learn, the lessons that I took from this day will be at the end of this. The Hubs tries to be helpful every morning with me, which I appreciate. So he tries to be helpful by, if I'm in the shower and he's out of the shower and he's having breakfast, he'll help me pack lunch. And sometimes he comes into the room, and if I'm still getting ready and he's already ready, because we both work, he works from home most of the time, unless he has like something to do in like a client site or like a meeting to go to. I work from home most of the time as well, but I have to go into the office at least once a week. So on some mornings he would come into the room, he'd be like, is there anything I can help you do to get you out of the house quicker? And I appreciate that. I really appreciate that. And like he takes my things. Do you need to go with this? I'm like, yeah, put it in a bag for me. The Hubs also takes me to the train station or the bus station. Like when I was with my old job where I used to take the bus, he would take me to the bus stop. And now that I go with the train, he will come with me to the train station every morning and say goodbye to me. And then if he's working from home, come home and work. If he's working any other place, be out and about on his way to wherever he's working. So that's the whole backstory. And that's the whole, context behind everything. On this day, however, he, did all of that, walked me to the train station. I got the train and I was on my way to work. For whatever reason, I did not immediately, I normally read on the train, but for whatever reason on this day, I did not immediately bring out my book to read. So we had gone like maybe 2-3 stations past my, my station, and then decided, okay, I'll just bring out my book and read. So when I brought out my book, I was reading it. I think I read like 2 lines, 3 lines. I don't even know if it's something in the book that reminded me that you don't have your phone. But yeah, I was reading it and then I thought, hang on a minute, where's my phone? So I started looking for my phone, looking. I looked everywhere in my bag for my phone, no phone. And I was like, oh my gosh, I have forgotten my phone at home. Which if this was my previous job would be okay, because all that means is that I wouldn't, speak to the Hubs the whole day. If there was any emergency from family or friends or anything that I needed to know about during the workday, then it's gonna have to wait. However, in this job, I need my phone to sign into my computer. So that was definitely a problem. And now without my phone, like where do I go from here? I was thinking, do I go to work? Do I go back home? I knew that on that day the Hobbs wasn't working from home, so he wouldn't be at home. So what did I do? Sorry, there's the TV is on. So what did I do on that day? I then, as soon as I noticed I was not with my phone, bear in mind I was now exactly halfway through, so I was bang on halfway from the office and halfway from home. So I got off the train. Now getting off the train, what was my plan? There was no plan in my head. I was thinking like, exactly what am I going to do without my phone? I can't get a taxi, I can't call the Hobbs, I can't call work. Like, there was no I was basically between the devil and the deep blue sea. Is that how they say it? Or between a rock and a hard place? Yeah. Anyway, so this is the situation I found myself. So I came down. I was thinking of going back. My first instinct when I came down from the train was to go back on the train, or like on the other side, go back home and pick up the phone, like. And my thought was, hopefully the Hobbs is still home at this time. Like, hopefully he didn't need to leave very early as well. So, because I know that he went, I remember him, that was one of the days where he like went back home to get his own things and then go to work. So I was like, okay, maybe I should go back home. Maybe he'll still be at home now. And then I was waiting. I looked at the train timetable for when the next train is, how long it will take me back home. By the way, I had to be at work at 9, and the way I leave the house every day is in such a way that I'm at work at least 8:30. So I left early anyway. By the time when I looked at that train, by the time it goes back home, and then I, get off the train station, then walk home, and then try to come back, like it will be maybe 11. So I then decided, okay, the best way out is a taxi. And this train station was not one of the train stations where you just walk out of the train station and there's taxis there, because most train stations in the UK are like that, but this one was not one of those. So I was like, the best way home would be a taxi, but how do I get a taxi here? This is one of those middle of nowhere train stations. So I came off the platform, climbed up the bridge to the other side of I came off the train, climbed up the bridge to the other side of the platform to go back home or go outside. I was confused. So I then, I remembered, okay, there's this, help thing, there's this stand where there is no physical person. If you press that thing, if you need help in the train station, maybe directions, maybe if there's cancellations you need to see, replacement trains, just any sort of help and assistance that you need from the train station, that is the customer service. So I pressed that thing and then somebody picked up, and then I was like, yeah, like told them my situation. I was like, yeah, I'm at such and such train station. I need a taxi to take me back home because I've forgotten my phone at home and there's no way for me to get a taxi. So he was like, okay, yeah, sure. How can I, would you like me to call a taxi for you? I was like, yes, please. He said, okay, I can call a taxi. Where are you exactly? So I told him where I was. And then he asked me my name, so I told him my name. And then by this time, like, look, time had gone. It's quick now the way I'm saying it, but time had gone because at first I was confused. I also didn't know, should I keep going to work or should I go back home? Like, I didn't know what was the best thing to do, the best course of action. Oh, another thing, because the Hobbs has been working from home, even up till now, I don't take my keys when I'm going to work. He's the one that remembers and puts my keys in my bag for me. So I think that was one of the main things that I remembered that morning. I was like, I don't even have my keys, because wherever he was working that day, he would come back home before me. So the idea was that he would be home before me, so I didn't need my keys. So the main thing was, if I'm lucky, I'll find him at home. Or like, even, one of the thoughts in my head on that morning was, even if I'm going back home now, even if he's not home, I can't call him, like if he's almost leaving home. I can't call him quickly and say, I'm going home to take my phone, please leave my keys at home. So yeah. Yeah, that was the whole dilemma. Anyway, I waited for this taxi. The guy he said to wait on the phone. I waited there for him. He called the taxi. He said the taxi will be around like 15 minutes. I was like, okay. He gave the taxi person my name, so I waited for the taxi. I was just checking the time, 15 minutes. And then when it was like almost 15 minutes, I started walking and looking like on the road. As I said, there is nowhere you can hail a taxi outside this train station. I was just looking. Thankfully, I saw a car that looked like a taxi. And then I looked closely, and they actually wrote taxi on it, and the car parked, and the driver looked like they were looking for somebody. So I was just walking. As I came close, I noticed that the driver was a woman. So I was like, yes. I mean, it doesn't mean that women are good people. Just because she's a woman doesn't mean that she's a good person. That's, what I'm trying to say. But anyway, I was like, yes. So I got closer. The closer I got, the more she was looking at me, the more I was looking at her as well. And then as I got really close to her, she then said, Francesca. Then I was like, okay, yeah, that's who I'm looking for. So I got into the taxi. She asked where I was going. I told her, and she was like, why couldn't you call me? I was like, I don't have my phone. I forgot my phone. She said, oh my gosh, and you're going to work? I was like, yeah. And then she said, okay, so we're going to drive to your house and take your phone, and then I take you back to the train station. I was like, actually, no. Can you drive me to my house, take my phone, then drive me to work now? Because if I try to go to the train if I try to get the train back to work, I'll be too late. I'll be like 2 hours late. Whereas if she drives me, I'll get to work around 10. Bear in mind, again, I was supposed to be at work at 9. Okay, so yeah, she agreed. She was like, yeah, I can probably do that. I'll see how much it will cost. It will cost a lot. I was like, yeah, I don't mind what it costs at this point. Because where I work is like, if you drive, it's 30 minutes away from my house. So what was I even saying? Yeah. So, and then I was like, the other thing now, like, that's sorted. My transport is sorted. The other thing now is, I don't know if my husband is going to be home. She was like, oh, do you not have keys to get in? I was like, nope. She was like, okay, I'm rooting for you. Do you know his number? That's another thing. I didn't know my husband's number, because if I knew his number off by heart, I would have got someone to give him a call or something, or tell the customer service to give him a call before they got me the taxi. But I didn't know his number. So yeah, she was like, do you know his number? I can call him for you. I was like, I don't know his number. I'm just going to go home and hope that he's still home, or that he left the door open or something. We're driving home. If you see the traffic, because at this point we are now in rush hour. I like to go to work early before rush hour starts. But at this point, we're now in rush hour. Traffic. Everybody's trying to get to work. So when this traffic, I was like, oh my gosh, what is this? This woman, she kept trying to talk to me. And I wanted to talk. I was talking to her, but and I know she was trying to talk to lighten the situation, but it just wasn't helping. But I appreciate her efforts in trying to talk anyway. So there was so much traffic until that traffic lasted almost 20 minutes. We eventually beat the traffic, came home. I sprinted upstairs, like I ran. Well, I got the lift. By the way, I did the wildest thing that you should never do if you're in this situation. I left my work equipment, my laptop, everything from work, my company's equipment, in the woman's car, a stranger's car. Yes, it's a woman, but I left it in the taxi and ran upstairs. Well, I took the lift, but I came upstairs and pushed the door, knock on the door. Nobody was home, no answer. Like, I knocked and listened if I could hear him move, and I knocked very hard so that whatever he was doing, he would hear me, but nobody was home. It was apparent that nobody was home. So I then ran back down to the taxi, because in my mind I was thinking, oh my god, I've left all my work equipment in the taxi. I don't know this woman. What if she turns around and runs away with that? Like, it will be more trouble for me. So I then ran back down. On my way back downstairs, when you come out of our building, there's all our post boxes on, like, you know, one part of the building, all the, you know, the houses post boxes. So my eye just caught our post box, which I missed when I was running in. My eye caught our post box, and there was a paper on it, and I think it was what was on the paper, a drawing that is something, is like it's not a joke, it's an inside communication between me and my husband. Like, if I was lost in somewhere, or if he was lost in somewhere, it's something that if any of us put, we would know that it's one of us that did that. So that drawing caught my eye, so I went and looked at it, and then he told me where he left the postbox key, and then I took the postbox key. I still have that drawing till today. It's in my bag. I would show you, but then you would know our secret because I put that thing on, like, I kept it. It just means a lot to me since then. So anyway, he told me where he put the postbox key. I went and took the postbox key from where he put it, and I opened the postbox and I saw that he put my keys, like my house keys, inside the postbox. So I took my house keys and ran back upstairs, because when I came down, the taxi woman was looking at me and she saw my attention, like, you know, switch from her to the postbox. So I took my keys, ran back upstairs, grabbed my phone, and then I ran back downstairs and got in the taxi, and then she took me to work. But in this time, yeah, at this point, I was then feeling very nauseous. I was sweating. Like, imagine having a shower in the morning and before 10 in the day, I have the rest of the day to go. I was sweating. So I ran back into the woman's taxi and she was like, yay! So she was like, what do you want to do now? Should we go to, you know, your work? I was like, yeah. So I gave her my work address and she started driving me to work. And then she was like, oh my gosh, this morning has been so much for you. I was like, yeah. And then she gave me a mint to suck on. And she said, this should help you calm down. I was like, thank you so much. At this point, I don't know, but yeah, that's how I got my phone. It was until I got my phone, actually, that I then text my manager to say, hello, this is what is happening to me. I had to stop here and then run back home, and then just told him everything. I saw that he had called me, actually. When I got my phone, I saw that there was a missed call from him, so I called him back. No, I called him back. He didn't pick. Then I texted him and told him, and then he texted me back and say, hope you're okay, take your time. And then I then went to work. I did arrive at work about just a few minutes past 10, so that's like a whole hour later than I should have been on that morning. And yeah, that is my nightmare of a morning. That's the story of my nightmare, of how my 9 to 5 morning became a nightmare. With regards to the lessons, I told you there will be lessons at the end of the story. The lessons are, number one, when I was thinking about this story and thinking contingency plans, I don't know what would have been the contingency plan for this type of situation. Well, the contingency plan would have been that I always have my house keys, because one of the things that delayed me in coming home was that I knew that I didn't have my house keys. So I was thinking what was the best way forward. Number two, accept help from people, but also go back and double check for yourself, because my whole thinking that on that day was that the Hubs would put my phones in my bag. I say this because one of the reasons why I left my phone on that day is because every single morning the Hubs always goes and picks up my phone and puts in my bag. Every single day he's like, I've put your phone in your bag. Every single day. The one morning where he didn't put my phone in my bag, I should have checked. So yeah, I blamed him. Needless to say, I was really mad at him on that day. I was like, why didn't you put my phone in my bag? Because he's created a dependency every morning of putting my phone in my bag. So I thought, as per normal, he's put my phone in my bag. But I also think, okay, I should have checked for myself, or I should have at least asked him, have you put my phone in my bag? Since he normally does it every morning to be helpful. So that's the second lesson that I will say I learned from this. The third lesson is, I don't know, maybe don't always accept. It's not every time. It's not every help that is helpful. Oh, another lesson that I want to take from it is how to think on the go. So like always be ready to replan things if things go wrong. Just when things go wrong, because things will go wrong, when things go wrong, always be on your highest point of initiative. Like just think on the spot, try to think of how to avert any, yeah, so be on like high alert in terms of initiative to avert disaster. I think that's what I'm going to say, because whilst yes, I didn't think as quickly as I wish I could have or I should have on that day. However, I tried. As far as thinking, I was able to avert it. I went to work 1 hour late, but it could have been worse. It could have been worse. Yeah, so that's the sort of morning that I had. And then because I had that sort of morning, I had such a terrible day on that day. Everything was just like passing me by. All the training on that day. If there's anything that I don't know at this point in my new job, it was the things I learned on that day. That's all I'm going to say. But yeah, that's the end of this video, and that's the lessons that I think are there. Let me know if you've had like scary stuff like this happen to you before. I don't know why I keep saying scary stuff. Well, it's scary because my work is very important to me, and where it's a new job, they're just going to see me as if I'm like an unserious person. Yeah, that's the end of my story. Let me know in the comment section what you would have done in my position. Let me know if things like this have happened to you before. Let me know if you've forgotten your key before, your keys to get into the house and you couldn't get back into your house. Let me know if you've forgotten your phones and you were stranded before. If there's any person that you think would laugh at me, send this video to them, let them laugh. I will see you in another video. Like this video and don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you in another video. Take care. Bye.